Billy Napier finally runs out of lives in Florida. The dogs are barking and the tide are rolling for the third Saturday in October. And we get you all set up for the final Saturday in October. All that next, 4th and 1 podcast.
Did we just see? Did we just see?
I mean, that's one of the most, you
like that?
I can't. That was very good. That was one of the most professional. I mean, this might as well be the CBS Nightly News, but it is the 4th and 1 podcast with your boy, Captain Boring. I am Simeon Schlicker, a.k.a. That is an upside-down, overweight chocolate lab, but she's cute anyway. We don't care.
What does she have in her mouth?
Oh, she gets the squeakers out of these damn toys. And then we got a toy for her from Hershey Park, okay?
Yeah.
The thing has 8 squeakers in it.
Yeah.
8!
Wow.
Yeah. So for the past 2 days, I've been fishing them out of her.
Nothing makes Robert sound more like an old white guy than his dog.
God.
That is, of course, Robert. This is the 4th and 1 podcast coming to you live from Lancaster. Leola, Lidditz, and Williamsburg town, whatever the F Robert's at. I'm, of course, a.k.a. Lots going on in the third week lots happen in the third weekend. Third Saturday, that's the word I'm looking for, in October. That is, remind me, gentlemen, which rivalry? They have too many dumb names down there at South. It just means more for them.
They're not dumb names. I do like the SEC rivalry names, but it's Alabama, Tennessee.
Alabama, Tennessee. Seems to me that we had one miscue from them, and then they came back and decided to rattle off, 6 straight wins. Some really good numbers. I mean, we know the media ranks all the SEC so that when they have 4 losses, they can still get in the playoffs. That's just how it works. I'm interested. I didn't get to watch this game. I watched the Michigan game. We'll get to that later. What did you guys see besides Tennessee just falling flat on their face?
Tennessee was in the game. Like, they were gonna go in, or they had the ball at Alabama's 2-yard line with 6 seconds left, 8 seconds left, something like that. They ran a play. Joey Aguilar did not make a good throw, and it was a pick 6. So it was going to be a 2-point game going into half, and instead it turned out to be an Alabama. It was 21 to. It was going to be a 2-point game. Yes, it was 21 to 7 then, or something like that, going into half, maybe even less than that. So Tennessee kind of hung in there, but there's no hotter team in the country right now than Alabama, and specifically Ty Simpson and that group of wide receivers down in Tuscaloosa. They are incredibly hot.
Yeah, Alabama just got hot. They figured it out. We weren't sure if they were going to figure it out early or if they were going to figure it out later, and turns out they just figured it out week 2, which is when they needed to. Tennessee pretty much just shot themselves in the foot the entire game. But, the pick 6 was probably the more defining moment of the game because Tennessee had some momentum. They score there. They definitely have a lot more momentum, but you give Alabama 6 to go into the half, and then it's just they couldn't come back from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to be 14-16, and then they got the pick 6, and it ended up being 7-23 at the half. And as Robert said, they just could never kind of crawl out of that hole. They did make it a 10-point game in the fourth quarter. They cut it to 10 points twice in the second half, but then Alabama each time responded with a touchdown right after that. My concern is for Alabama moving forward, though, is their lack of their running game. They did run for $120 on 32 carries, but Robert, their leading receiver was their leading rusher, Jeremy Bernard. He had 4 carries for 49 yards. Jam Miller, their starting running back, averaged 1.3 yards a carry, 12 carries for 15 yards. That's concerning when you get into playoffs. You're going to need a little bit of a running game.
Well, I mean, yes and no. As long as you're still floating that ball throughout the air. I mean, when they played Georgia, I mean, they jumped out and never really looked back score wise, and they only ran for 46 yards that game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're winning. You're not going to find really a much better opponent at this point than Georgia for them, unless Ohio State, but Ohio State's still not that impressive to me, though. But
I think that they're eventually going to run into a team that they're going to want to control the clock, and that they're going to need a running game, and the running game's just going to abandon them. And maybe you're right. Maybe they just say, you know what, we don't have a running game, but what we do have is we have 3 possible NFL wide receivers on our squad, 1 definitely first-round pick in Bernard. We're just going to use them and toss that rock and flick that bean all over the field.
I hate it when you call it that. We'll stay down south here, jumping down to we'll go to the other Tennessee team. LSU loses and gets upset by Vanderbilt. That shocked me, to be quite honest. But I'm wondering if this is truly a different Vanderbilt team than last year, because like Vanderbilt made it and then they hit a brick wall and no one's sure what happened to them after that.
What I didn't know, and I heard on the broadcast, is that Vanderbilt is the most efficient offense in college football right now. That's what I heard. Now, how you figure that stats out, I don't know. Nerds, let me know. But they're the most efficient college offense right now going in the sport. And when you put that against a team that has to rely so much on their defense because their offense is sputtering, and I'm referring to LSU here, it's a recipe for you to get beat. Vanderbilt, go listen to my week 8 recap.
Yeah.
Week 8 recap. Go listen to that. But Vandy's a playoff team, man, and Vandy can win a playoff game. I know some people don't think that they want to hear that, but Indiana and Vanderbilt, man, they're good playoff teams right now.
yeah, Vandy, they did what I wasn't too sure. I wasn't sold on Vandy winning the game against LSU, just because I still had a lot of faith inside that LSU defense, which just was not there. I mean, offensively, we knew LSU really isn't a threat per se, because they've just struggled offensively all year, but their defense still looked pretty solid. But Vandy's pretty much, I mean, Pavia is just a different breed of quarterback at this point. So
he made enough plays, right? Like they had him on a fourth down. He stopped, kind of spun out of pressure, got away, found someone on fourth down to really kind of put that game away. But again, time of possession was 36 minutes for Vandy in terms of 23 for LSU. They were 2 for 3 on fourth downs. They were over 50% on third down. They had less penalties, more first downs, more yardage. They won the game. And who would have? Yeah, we got 2 squeaky dogs here. Mine is currently orbiting Jupiter right now. He is so high. He got his nails trimmed today. So, homeboy is just he doesn't even know he's chewing on this ball right now. He thinks it's some steak or something, I'm sure. Man, but it knocks. What I'm surprised is if you would have told me that Vanderbilt would have knocked LSU out of the playoff, I would have been like, okay. But then if you would have said, no, Vandy's going to be in playoff contention, I would have laughed in your face. I was like, there's no way that happens.
Yeah, the SEC, I mean, I was looking at the rankings on Sunday, just in general. And the thing that stuck out to me, besides the fact that Northwestern has the same record as Michigan, didn't see that coming. You said peep the Big 12, which is a wild conference again.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun. Jacksonville State being 3-0 and 4-3 after losing their coach shocked me in Conference USA. Simeon, get to the point. That's the SEC. Obviously, we have the big three sitting atop conference play of Texas A&M, Alabama, and Georgia. But then the rest of this... Go ahead.
Would you have said those were the big three, though? I would have said, sure, Alabama and Georgia. Would you have put Texas A&M in that third spot preseason?
I would have put Texas. But Robert said this. Preseason doesn't matter.
Right, I know that.
That's kind of where I'm at this point. Is I'm looking at this list and I go all the way down. Why is Tennessee ranked 17th and is 2-2 in conference and 5-2 overall? Okay, beside the point. But Vanderbilt there, it's 6-1 overall with 3 other teams. The SEC is going to put on a good game no matter what.
Yeah, the SEC's only fear right now, or the leaders of the SEC, I think, is that they will cannibalize themselves, right, and dilute their product.
Well, I saw a meme online that was this is the SEC's plan. Rank, because how many teams are in the SEC?
A lot. I think over half.
So 11 of them are ranked right now, which is over half. So it's rank 11 teams in the SEC. Have all of them lose most of the games, and then because you beef up their strength of schedule, they all can make it into the playoff. Or they make the argument like Nick Saban did when he had 2 losses and they kept him out of the playoff. That's basically what they're doing. I get it; it's a strategy, but every other conference has that too right now. I mean, you look at Mountain West, and I get we can't compare the Mountain West. Great another example. The MAC is super parodied right now. From a conference play perspective, and just
who's leading the MAC right now?
The Buffalo Bulls.
Shut up! No way.
Yeah,
good for them.
Ohio is 2-1. I mean, but that's the thing. Ohio's at the middle of the pack. So is Toledo. Shout out Toledo. Also Akron. Shout out Fighting Kevin Kearns. 1 conference win, 2-6 overall.
They were favored this past weekend, only to lose by 14. So they were favored for the first time in 2 years, Kevin told me, and then they lost by 14.
Ohio would have been, would have probably led. I think they won the MAC last year, if I'm remembering correctly, and they're in the middle of the pack. But they're 2-1 in conference, 4-3 overall. But the top half of the MAC, well, that's only the top half of the MAC is all 4-3 or 3-4. So we do this because it's the SEC and it just means more. Big Ten man yell at sky is really what's going on right now.
So, I mean, it kind of almost raises a point where it's as football, the games are exciting in the SEC, but it almost kind of makes the SEC kind of boring because the outcome. What's the reason to watch Alabama play Ole Miss? Because it's going to be a good football game, but you know the outcome.
No defense.
Right?
Yeah.
You know the outcome. Alabama more than likely is going to go undefeated in the conference. Georgia, before they had to play Alabama almost every year now, they were going to go undefeated in the conference. So it's kind of made it to where those games, as a consumer, were kind of, not that you wouldn't tune in, because you tune in because it's a ranked game, but it's ranked for a reason.
I'd much rather watch, to your point, I'd much rather watch James Madison take on Marshall, because that's going to be more of a college football game than watching the SEC. Or an Indiana take on Illinois.
Right. Well, and in the Big Ten, I mean, Wisconsin could beat Michigan if they played it. Kind of those, even a bottom feeder Big Ten school can
has a shot. UCLA
maybe not
can
Ohio State,
beat
Indiana,
Penn State.
but
I
get one of those kind of scenarios where it's, I don't know. I mean, I get it though.
I'm going to hard transition us
everyone
over.
just likes to.
Florida beat Mississippi State and then proceeded to fire their head coach. Billy Napier went 22-23 at his time there at Florida. Remind you that I think Dan Mullen went, what was it, 30-13 when they fired him?
It was 31-9.
31-9. He's now going to be the new head coach of Penn State. You heard it here first. I'm making that call now. Again, you guys called it for me. But sorry. So this is a team who can't move. This is okay. Here's the analogy. This is that girl that had the one really, really good boyfriend for whatever reason. Maybe all of her friends hated the boyfriend because he was abusive as heck or whatever the case is, but they really liked each other. And now she's out there dating every other guy and gets into like on again, off again flings with every dude possible because she can't get over that one dude from 10 years ago who was the best ever. And that is Florida with Urban Meyer and their national championships, and they can't get over this hurdle. At what point do we, as a community of college football fans, right? I sent you the video of the Nottingham Forest coach. Nottingham Forest is doing good this year. Got fired 2 hours after he lost to Chelsea. 2 hours. Like he was out the door. They had him managing a game, and they had. At what point as a community do we go, guys? It's okay to go 9-4 every year. Like, especially if you're the SEC and you're cannibalizing yourself, that's good. They're gone. I think gone are the days of this dynasty, of these dynasties, and I don't understand why ADs and fan bases don't see that.
Because of places like Georgia. So Mark Richt was very successful at Georgia. Very good. Am I wrong in saying that, Robert? Jog my memory. Georgia was good under Mark Richt. Yep.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, okay.
They were competitive.
Right. They were competitive. They went to a few SEC championship games. I believe they won one under Mark Richt, at least one under Mark Richt, but they could never get over the hump, right? So they fire him, mutually agreed to part ways, whatever it was at the time, and they bring in Kirby Smart. No head coaching experience, and now we're looking 2 national championships later and a perennial power in the sport, top 5, top 10 school all the time, and they are always in the national championship talk. That's what teams are going for. Good for some programs is not good enough. They need to be great, and then great for some programs are not good enough. They need to be elite. So that's what Florida's looking for. However, when you have a great coach, i.e. a Dan Mullen, in-house, and there is something that isn't working, from what I understand, he was not real big on recruiting. Maybe what they should have done is saying, instead of firing you and paying your buyout money, let's put in a GM, a player acquisition, someone to recruit for you, for the University of Florida, and do the dirty work, but you just do X's and O's, and we'll tap you on the shoulder when we need you to handshake and smile with a recruit and convince him to come here. We'll bring him to your office. You'll shake his hand. You'll tell him that Gainesville's the place like home, and then we'll take care of sealing the contract and all that. But that's what Florida's looking for. But you're right. Florida was bad, and then Urban got there, and then they were great, and then they've kind of been ever since. I won't say bad because they've had some good years in there, but they haven't been great. So, Simeon, to answer your question, some teams, good is not good enough.
That's fair.
I feel like a lot of teams that look at it as being good is not good enough are the teams that have never actually been good.
Or were good a long time ago and are trying to recapture that.
It would be like a spurt of like 4 or 5 years that they were good. You know, like Georgia with Herschel Walker.
Yeah, I mean, you could say
there's not really many other times you would hear about Georgia and then how good they were, other than if it was the Herschel Walker era. And then later on, you started getting like AJ Green and stuff like that, and Stafford. But
I mean,
like Notre Dame. Notre Dame always has an argument because Notre Dame has historically been good.
Right, but Notre Dame.
Right.
When was the last time they won something? Right, like
Right, but like them saying trying to be being better than great, they want to be elite. That makes sense because they've been there. You know what I mean? Where it's like Georgia's never really been there. Texas A&M's never been really there.
yeah. I mean, Florida. I would say the better argument is Florida's really never been there outside of Urban Meyer. Florida really hasn't been there.
Right, they had this spurt of like 3 or 4 years.
And then they did have a little bit of time under Spurrier, but yeah.
I think we look at these teams before we move on. I think we look at these teams and we look at the decade-plus success that Nick Saban had at Alabama, and we go, well, why can't my team do that, right? And in reality, the fan experience is probably more like Michigan than it is like Alabama. Where, yeah, maybe you're Georgia and you're competing, but you don't look bulletproof. Like Alabama looks so bulletproof, and Nick Saban was such a good, or built such a good program that everybody's like, well, everybody can be not. I don't think 2010s to 2024 Alabama is repeatable ever in the history, possibly of sport. There are a few exceptions to the rules in other sports, I'm sure, but I think we need to lower our expectation to be more of an Urban Meyer and be less of a Urban Meyer or like a Michigan where like they're in the shot for 4 years and then their head coach leaves. Like that's probably more realistic than a decade plus of just utter dominance or always possibly being in the picture at the beginning of the year.
In reality, most of college football is that, right? You get these 4 or 5 year spurts, as you called it, where you're great and you're awesome and you're in the national championship picture.
Right.
And then you're going to tail off for a few years. And then you're going to come back around because some coaching changes. Now, the thing that makes it harder to predict, it was easier to predict when there wasn't NIL and more specifically the transfer portal. However, I still do think that colleges are going to have recruiting class and develop. So every 3 or 4 years, you will have certain colleges who had good recruiting classes develop and then just kind of pop. And then you get, again, a 3 or 4 year window.
Right. And the thing that Alabama did was they were able to close that gap in recruiting classes where they were able to be like every year or every 2 years really is what it boiled down to.
Well, money talks when it comes to that portion
We're
of it.
Assuming probably
can't confirm nor deny, but
was paying players before it. Let's jump over to some of the other teams who decided to move on from their coaches. Obviously, there's the opening of PSU. The coaching carousel is getting wider and longer. Obviously, I still don't get firing. Like, I get firing Napier. Everybody was waiting for it to happen. I don't know why you didn't wait till the end of the season to do it. This makes no sense. Mike Norvell. Makai, you have a note here, FSU to make decision on Norvell. Mike Norvell, after the season.
Yeah, so his brother Jay did get fired
not
from
related.
Colorado State.
Jay and Mark are not related.
Are you sure?
Positive, because I thought they were and have looked this up before.
All righty, great. Well, then I apologize. I thought that they were brothers. So Mike Norvell, they're going to wait until after the season because they may or may not have money for his buyout right now. Mike Norvell was at Florida State. He wasn't good, and then he was on the hot seat, and then they kind of righted the ship, and then they won 11 games, and then they've had 2 years then they had that year of awfulness, and now we're on 4 straight losses and 9 straight conference losses, and it's just not really looking good in Tallahassee. I don't know what's wrong with Florida State because they should be a lot better than what they are. I don't know if it's his coaching style, if it's assistant coaching. But yeah, apparently the reports that I'm seeing, reading, hearing is that Florida State doesn't have the finances right now for a buyout.
Sorry, when you were talking about the buyout, it all reminded me that Billy Napier is going to get his full buyout.
Oh, wow. Regardless
if he gets on a new team or not, because Scott Strickland, who I'm assuming is that, I don't know if that's the AD of Florida, but they never negotiated a duty to mitigate clause.
Okay,
So that's where if Billy would go to another school and they say, okay, your contract's going to be
like they're doing with Franklin.
Yeah, an X amount, and then that would get cut off of what Florida would technically owe him.
So
they didn't do that.
So I mean, Indiana just guaranteed $93 million to Cignetti, and listen, dude, man, like Cignetti's on the highest of highs. But you know what this reminds me of? I think Cignetti's a better coach, but this reminds me of A. Jimbo and B. Mel Tucker.
Yeah, those are two very different tenures, though.
yeah, they're different, but it was like they came in, they showed success in some way. Mel Tucker won 11 games. Jimbo had just recruiting classes, really good recruiting classes, gave him all this money, and then it just kind of fell apart, right?
Well, one was failing on. I think that was Jimbo's was more failing to adapt to the environment with recruits and that whole thing after Jameis, and then Mel Tucker's was just the whole sexual harassment thing. Entrapment.
Allegedly.
I still stand by that.
I know you stand by that, but yeah. Listen, it makes sense that they immediately regretted that. I just want everyone to know, and I'm not saying he can't do it, but Indiana has still, for 2026, has the 28th ranked recruiting classes. That's among the likes of Missouri, Syracuse, Illinois, Louisville, Minnesota, Stanford. Wow, Stanford actually did very well.
You're talking all about schools who, besides Stanford who have overperformed this year. Drastically overperformed this year from their expectations, including Minnesota. Dude, I thought PJ Fleck was going to be fired at the end of the year. If you told me pick PJ Fleck or pick Luke Fickell, who's getting fired, I would have picked PJ Fleck. I would have.
I don't think Luke Fickell is getting fired.
I think they're going to keep him.
Yeah, AD came out and said we need to put more money into the football program. This isn't Luke Fickell's.
This is spin the wheel. You got three options at this point. If you're a school,
me and Robert can't get anything right this year, so we were hoping that Fickell would get fired because that's the one coach we said. Him and Hugh Freeze.
Listen. I told you last week. I said, hey, win or lose against Mississippi State, Billy's getting fired.
Yep, you're right.
It was 104 weeks in the making, but we got there.
Well, hey, who does Mississippi State play this weekend? Because their coach is going to get fired.
Texas.
Texas.
Okay, the streak will be broken.
If they fire Sark, that would be.
Hey, but Arch Manning could get fired, or not fired, benched. Dude, did you guys see their offensive production against Kentucky?
Yeah, didn't Kentucky
outperform them in
literally every single category?
All right, I want everyone
I watched SEC shorts today. Didn't Kentucky outperform them in every single category?
I'm going to read it for the people.
Okay.
So this is Kentucky, who is 2-4 in the 2-4 overall, 0-4 in the SEC. Texas is 2-1 in the SEC, 5-2. Here are the stats. Tell me who won this game. Kentucky, 395 yards. Texas, 179. Kentucky did commit one turnover. Kentucky, first downs, 26 to Texas's 8. Kentucky only committed 3 penalties to Texas's 7. Third downs, Kentucky was 7 of 18. Texas was 5 of 16. Fourth downs, Kentucky was 1 of 3. Time of possession nearly doubled. Kentucky had it for 40 minutes. Texas only had it for 20. Game went to overtime and Texas won 16-13. I didn't watch the game, watch the highlights. I still don't understand how that happened. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's one of those things where one team drives the ball up and down the field the entire game but doesn't score.
Yeah,
and then the other team doesn't. This is honestly like an Ohio State Michigan kind of thing, where Ohio State drives the ball up and down the field like a track race. But the time of possession would be different, where the time of possession would actually be Ohio State's would be super short, and then Michigan would hold on to the ball for dear life for the entire thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Arch is like, I don't know if you look at it and go, do you say, all right, enough of Arch. We go to our second string. Well, that's also hard, though, because they're still like in contention because they only have one SEC loss, so they're still...
Arch's two-step, I've never used this analogy before, is two-step forward and two steps back. I haven't actually seen any progression from Arch Manning from what I saw last year and in week 1. Like, he's in the exact same spot. That's just end point.
I don't know. There's no rebuttal to that. Like,
yeah, there's no improvement going
it's
on.
A slam
right
dunk kind of a comment.
No, there wasn't meant to be a rebuttal. It's just kind of statement of fact that like they've got to do something if they want to win a national championship at Texas, because I don't think they can get it done with Arch.
Or he has to develop.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just kind of looking at our notes here. We should move on to.
I'm waiting for Robert to unfreeze. That's what I'm trying to do.
We'll see what happens.
He's probably not even frozen on his end because it always still kind of records him. But
it is what it is. Who did Miami play last week?
They played Louisville and
on
lost.
Friday. That was the other game that I definitely wanted to talk about before wrapping up. They lost to Louisville on Friday. That was like the big. Besides Nebraska, Minnesota shellacking Nebraska, was the upset Louisville, Miami. Who did they transfer in? Who did Louisville transfer in as their quarterback?
Miller Moss.
That's right. Maybe that was a good pickup by them. Like, who is this Louisville team, and why can't they just seem to, like, get over the hump?
I honestly don't. I don't know. They're now 5-1, and 2-1 in the ACC. They just have under Jeff Brom. Jeff Brom will do this, right? He'll beat a top 5 team as Robert is back.
Yeah,
he'll beat a top 5 team, top 10 team. Dude, I don't know either. Rob, welcome back though. And then
glad to be back.
And then like this week. I don't even know who Louisville's playing this week, but it wouldn't shock me if they lose this week. They are playing Boston College, who's one of the worst teams in the ACC.
One of the worst teams in the FBS.
Yeah. So it wouldn't shock me if Louisville, at home as well, loses to Boston College.
I didn't realize
this week.
Florida State is 0-4 in conference.
Yeah. They've lost.
The ACC is wild. Duke is 3-1. Louisville's 2-1, which does not put them at top. They're ranked. Miami's 1-1 and ranked 9th. I don't know how that's the case. We'll talk about Georgia Tech in a second, and Virginia barely squeaking a win out.
So here's my best thing is a few weeks ago I said this is a race. The ACC is just a race to get beaten by Miami. Miami at this point might not even make it to the ACC title game. You got 3-0 Georgia Tech, Virginia, and SMU.
Well, this was a scenario last year, too.
Dude, turn on your mic.
What? Now I'm super loud?
I know, just move it away from your face.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're good. Just move it away from your face.
Now I got to move it away. Any other time I got to be
just keep talking. You just
eating the damn thing.
Right. Yeah. Come on. You should be used to eating it.
Listen, I was almost going to...
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, no. While that was gone, I stumbled upon the predictions for the playoff bracket.
And what's that say?
So, first off, Notre Dame would be the first one bumped out.
Okay.
Because the American champ would get in. So, South Florida would get in over Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame, they have as like the 12th best team.
Yeah.
Or however they do this. So, let's see. Your first round games would be pretty interesting. South Florida at Georgia. Yeah. Tune in.
Awesome.
BYU Miami. That might actually be pretty good.
That would be a great game. BYU's just no one's watching them because they play at 10 p.m.
Catholics versus convicts. No. That's
That's Notre Dame Miami.
Yeah, they had a rivalry though. Didn't BYU? And didn't they have a rivalry too a little bit?
What? What I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know,
BYU has
the
a
unholy
rivalry
war?
with premarital sex.
Okay.
Bang.
Robert, what's the next one?
We have Georgia Tech at Ole Miss.
Okay.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, if Haynes King is still alive.
Oklahoma at Oregon.
Yeah.
I could get down with that.
Yeah, that a good brand of football right there. Good brand name football.
Yeah. The winner of South Florida and Georgia would go on to play A&M. So
Okay.
Georgia versus A&M.
Yep.
The winner of BYU Miami goes on to play Alabama. So Alabama would win that one.
Yep.
Georgia Tech Ole Miss. The winner would play Indiana. That would be a good matchup, I think, for either of them.
Yeah, that would be interesting football right there.
Yeah. And then we would get the winner of Oklahoma Oregon would play Ohio State.
Yeah, and Oklahoma needs to have a better hand surgeon, apparently, because that's the thing that's stopping them right now.
Yeah.
It's wild. When's the first playoff announcements drop?
Should be
next
week.
Yeah.
So
it's like all of November, yeah, or the 4th probably.
Got it.
November 4th. Yeah.
So 2 weeks.
Well, on Sunday, the 13 members of the College Football Playoff Committee will do something they've never done before. They're going to meet for 2 days at Gaylord Texan Resort in Grapevine, Texas. They're calling for a level set meeting.
Well,
so yeah, reveals November 4th.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 weeks. So okay, Robert, that's great, but it's like a preseason ranking. Who knows what's going to happen in 2 weeks? We got rivalry games yet to be played.
But everyone loves preseason rankings. Apparently, though.
Apparently, that's what matters. Other games to care about: UAB upset Memphis, who was atop of the American.
Again, that's a big for the American. That group of 5, man.
So that puts Navy at 6-0 and 4-0, and South Florida. Oh, looky. There's Tulane, who only won by 7 this past week. Yes, that means that we lost. Did we go 0-3 this week? 0-3 in the parlay. Haven't even looked at it yet. Might as well.
Listen, USC, if they would have stopped doing all the BS, all the trick plays, all that, they probably only would have lost by 3, and we would have been fine.
Rob, what were the two? The one play was the Makai Lemon. He tried to throw it. Defense won. He should have just went down. He tried to throw it, fumbled the football. And then what was the other one? I was trying to remember, and I couldn't.
I don't know, dude. I was so annoyed with that game.
It was something else. I agree with you. They didn't run the ball well. They didn't need to. Jaden Mayava was spinning it, and really, they went up 21-24 for the listeners. And then Jadarian Price, 100 yards kickoff return. It's like, every time
they gave up the game.
Every time you try to kill Notre Dame, it's like the Undertaker. Goes dark, the bell sounds, and he just sits straight up. Dude, they have 9 lives. They're like Billy Napier, except Catholic. I don't even know. Maybe he's Catholic.
He might be. JMU beat. Not that anyone cares. Beat Old Dominion 63-27. That's just wild to me.
The group of 5, we don't nearly cover it as much as we should.
They're a lot of fun this year.
It's a wild place to look at, man.
You never know. The MAC is always. You never know who's going to win that. That's a bunch of fun. By the way, for the record, the 2 independent teams. I can't believe we are still independent teams in 2025. Have the same record. UConn and Notre Dame are both 5-2.
Yeah, and one of them is a playoff team.
It's so dumb what we do in this sport.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. And I don't have my little button ready. If I was good, I would have. And did you not play, really? Thank you. And look ahead to this week. Obviously, we got a few good matchups. Let's start with, can UCLA keep it going with Indiana this week? Is that a home game for Indiana, or are they away?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the answer is probably, but it's at least some semblance of a matchup for them.
Oh, well, as Kirk Zanetti said, you have to view UCLA as 3-0 because they're 3-0 in conference. So the first 4 losses that UCLA had are out the window because they are a completely different team, especially on offense. They went from scoring 14 points a game, and now, I mean, they were 40, and then they only scored, 17 on Saturday. So, brings the average down a little bit, but they're still way up what they were under Deshaun Foster. Indiana's favorite. I do think that this is kind of the week that, hey, UCLA still is bad, right? I think you see this, especially with Nico. Who knows if he's good or not? He hurt that knee kind of late in that game. I like Indiana to win here. I'm tempted to take UCLA to cover because it's West coming East, and our theories about that. But, yeah, I think this isn't a sleepwalk game as it was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think UCLA puts up a fight early, but I think Indiana's just going to kind of grind them down, and it's going to turn. It might not be like the 63-10 beating they put on Illinois, but I could see like the 38-13, the like a 40-20 kind of game. But I don't see really Indiana slowing down necessarily anytime soon.
Well, would you take UCLA plus a point, plus 25.5?
No, because you know why? Because every time we do this, Indiana beats someone by like 50,
Yeah, that's true.
and it's like, all right, whatever.
I would be more enticed to take the over of 55.5 because I do think that you're looking at.
I could see that.
I think you're looking at like 45-10, 45-17.
Yeah, I can see that one.
Is Johnny I call him Johnny. Sorry, I'm calling him. Listen, I'm gonna make it happen. Is Johnny Mateer? Is he back? Like I get he's back, but is he like actually back? Because they're being favored by 4.5 at home against Ole Miss.
Yeah, he's getting better. Definitely, he came back too early against Texas. And then last week, he wasn't outstanding, but Oklahoma finally found a running game. However, with South Carolina, who just needs to move on from Shane Beamer and just let him go to Virginia Tech. Like at this point, just everyone knows this is going to happen, so just sweep him out the door and start your coaching search. First and foremost, South Carolina, PSA there. Yeah, I don't understand this line either. Trinidad Chambliss is still in my Heisman top 5. However, he's no longer leading it. Ole Miss can kind of get whatever they want whenever they want it offensively. The biggest problem with Ole Miss is that D-line just can't stop the running game of anybody right now. Georgia late in that game just pushed them around, and they were bringing 6 and 7 people at the time. So is Mateer healthy? Is Mateer back? Yes. Is he back? Kinda getting there. I like Ole Miss to win.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss is still more explosive as a team. Ole Miss to me looks like an SEC school. Obviously, makes sense. Oklahoma to me right now looks like not old school, but like an older version of their Big 12 days, where like Baker or Sam Bradford, when they would go and it was just like a run and gun kind of style, minus the run portion. But yeah, I think Ole Miss comes out swinging. They still have stuff to prove that they should have beat Georgia, but they just let Georgia squeak by again.
You're going to find out whether or not Ole Miss is going to let Georgia beat them twice in this game, because I think they should beat Oklahoma, and you're going to find, because there's lots of talks right now, Lane Kiffin to Florida, so you're going to find out how loud those talks get based on Ole Miss's performance, because as they come out and just lay an egg against Oklahoma, boy, that the rumor mill's really going to start spinning.
Okay, you don't have this on your list, but a sneaky game there at 12.
Great.
Good game.
Talk about it anyway.
Is is 18 South Florida
South
at
Florida.
Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that this maybe game day would have even checked this one out because they like to kind of do smaller schools at least once or twice during the year. But Memphis lost last week. So this is kind of, well, it's for first place in the American.
Basically, yeah.
But South Florida needs this if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. They've got to beat their quality conference opponents when they can. I don't like that it's on the road. South Florida, their quarterback, Byram Brown, has thrown for almost 1,700 yards. He's also the team's leading rusher. And then they got a wide receiver, man. He's awesome. His name is Cass Nimrod, and I love that. He's their leading receiver with 3 touchdowns and 466 yards. I do love a good Nimrod. So give me the South Florida Bulls to keep it rolling versus Memphis. Memphis maybe was looking ahead to this game last week, and I think it kind of gets them twice. Got them last week and gets them this week.
Yeah, to cycle back to the college game day, they missed a total slam dunk of a game that they should have been to. Not an FBS game. They should have did an FCS game. And let me tell you, 8 p.m., I'm going to get off track real quick.
Okay.
North Dakota State, South Dakota State, both 7-0, both undefeated in the conference. Why would you not go there?
Yeah.
No one cares about Missouri. No one cares about Vanderbilt. The SEC is just, you want to go there every week because it's like, oh, well, this is a ranked rank. This is a ranked rank. Like, you're supposed to be college football. Spread it out.
And also, it's not the game. It's like you're not covering the game. You're covering the fans. You're covering the atmosphere. You're covering the stadium.
If I may, Vanderbilt doesn't feel like an SEC team, though.
Are they going to Nashville this week?
Not my problem, dog.
Vanderbilt does feel like college football. Vanderbilt is the ultimate underdog with the ultimate underdog at quarterback. Vanderbilt was a just disaster of a college football program before. They couldn't fill stadiums. They couldn't do anything, and now they're relevant. All I'm saying is you want them to cover college football. Vanderbilt is college football this year.
You could go and see 2 FCS schools that the kids are playing there, never going to be on TV until the very end of the year when it's playoff time. 0 exposure. But yet some of these guys are actually the ones who are performing on Sundays. Like, these are the schools they're playing. Like this is your Alabama, Georgia of the FCS. Right?
And it's a rivalry game.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, rivalry game. Like, it doesn't really get much better than that until playoff time.
You've also been
That's college football.
You've also
Don't
been
they
to
have
Fargo.
rankings?
They do have rankings. Well, it's in South Dakota, I believe. It's in Brookings.
Brookings, what a name.
They do have rankings.
My child is super unhappy. My wife is going to be pissed at me when I get done with this podcast.
Yeah, it's number 1 versus number 2.
Wow.
And we want to go see Vanderbilt and Missouri.
I mean, but also, what do you care? Because you don't watch game day anyway.
No, but this would even be like the chance for ESPN wouldn't put it on TV either. It's on ESPNU. But like, this is like, build your audience. Everyone hates ESPN.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Because they cover more than what they need to do. They do all stupid
here's what
stuff.
we'll do. We'll make this podcast. We're growing. We're over 100. Congratulations. Once we get to 500, we can take money from people. We'll build this podcast to the point where we can all quit our jobs, and then we'll go to these fun games, and we'll cover them, and we'll have our own podcast day.
Rob, would you take your shirt off in South Dakota? I don't know what the high is on Saturday,
Yeah, probably.
but I can't imagine it'd be over like 40.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know what their
in the
indecent
stands
exposure laws are.
Lots of camo in the stands on Saturday.
So what you're saying is the stands would be empty.
I mean, it is at least in PA. It is archery.
The high is actually 62 on Saturday in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, all day.
South Dakota.
All day.
Yeah.
No. But it's.
I'll wear
Didn't you say
shorts.
this was a 7 p.m. game?
Oh yeah, it's a late
Yeah.
game. It's like an 8 p.m. game.
No, at 6 p.m. it's going to be 61.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a little bit of liquid courage. Yeah, come on, I'll paint myself.
Are you now? Here's the question: are you painting yourself green and yellow, or is this a blue and yellow situation?
Ooh,
Or blue and
know,
white. Who you taking?
I
Who you
think
taking,
I would-
Robert?
Oh, North Dakota State.
The Bison.
Yeah, give me the Dynasty. Give me.
Yeah.
They
This is the dynasty Alabama could never be.
They have all the first place votes in the FCS coaches poll. So give me the Bison.
Except for the fact that they literally were the Dynasty.
Yeah, but the thing is, Alabama's dynasty ended.
Yeah, that's true. And
North
North
Dakota
Dakota
State just kind of kept going.
And it's been through, like, 3 coaches.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's a good amount
They
of coaches.
just-
Shout out
One of
Fresno
their
State.
Yeah.
One of their coaches is not doing very well at Kansas State right now.
The
He's
other
kinda
one is
fallen
doing
off a
really
cliff.
good at Fresno State. Is it Fresno or
I have no idea.
whoever with the Bulldogs? I always forget.
Yo, Lehigh, number 7.
Yeah.
Isn't
in the
Kutztown
country.
not one? They're 7-0.
No,
Kutztown-
North Dakota State's one.
Oh, we're talking
Oh.
FCS. Sorry, Lehigh. I forgot Lehigh's in the FCS. not
Lehigh's
in the-
FCS, Kutztown's Division 2.
Yeah. Kutztown is Division 2.
Shout out to the Oilers of Findlay.
Kutztown is number 4, by the way.
Oh, okay, they're 7-0, number 4 in Division 2. Listen,
Finley's only 14, man.
we
they
will
must have
eventually get to
front-loaded
some
their
of these
schedule.
smaller games. Micaiah, Robert, we need to go to a smaller game at least once or twice. We haven't. Go ahead.
Kutztown just hammered Millersville.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I want to go to like a garbage
Yeah,
one.
give me
like-
Dickinson versus F&M. Like legit. Like give me that game. That no one cares about.
about, like-
they're both horrible teams. I'm sure.
your sinus, URSINUS. No clue. They're playing John Hopkins this weekend. I don't know who they are, but dog or like DePaul, DEPAUW, DePaul.
You got it.
got it.
Good job.
I would have a great time there.
I think they're in Minnesota. Or
To the window,
Wisconsin.
to DePaul.
Nice. Well done. That was actually pretty good.
I can't. It's Fresno State, by the way, to finish my thought. All right, BYU goes to Ames. Iowa State is favored by 2.5. That's 3:30 on Fox.
Ooh, wait. Everyone better bet on Iowa State because right now this game it makes no sense why Iowa State is a 2.5 point favorite. Vegas has done this twice to us this year.
Yeah, I'm Robert. That was going to be my one. Because it makes no sense. That's the one that doesn't make any sense to me right now.
Iowa State might win by double digits.
They might. Coming off of the Holy War 2 on the road for BYU, dude, give me those Cyclones, man. That's just another team that can never just keep it rolling when they have it rolling. Back-to-back losses against Cincinnati and then upset at Colorado. You know, all the turmoil now going around Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell up for these big-time jobs, looking around. You know, he's going to be getting calls from Penn State, from Florida, from Arkansas, presumably, allegedly. Why are they favored? Don't know. Don't know at all. BYU should win this game, but I'm feeling Matt Campbell, and I am feeling an upset alert. Give me the Cyclones a little bit. They started strong, came back to earth, and now they're going to take off because they have BYU, then they have Arizona State.
This is what Matt Campbell does. It doesn't matter if he has a 2-loss. He can,
Master motivator,
yes,
baby.
His teams continue to fight when they need to fight. Yeah, give me Iowa State to cover here.
Yeah, I'll just be different. I'll go BYU.
Yeah, that's fair.
It brings it up why you should.
Yeah, I'll bring it up, but yeah, I'll still screw Vegas.
Texas A&M, LSU. Anyone interested in that? No.
Love A&M here in this spot. LSU's offense is either inconsistent running or inconsistent passing, and they just switch on and off. And nothing's consistent outside of that defense, and now the defense is on the field too long. Robert, that's your favorite stat to use, that the defense is just always on the field too long, and it's true. Give me A&M. Marcel Reed is just really cooking right now. They have KC Concepcion and Mario Craver on the outside. Two excellent yak receivers. Their running game is getting going a little bit, and that defense outside of the Arkansas game, it's getting there. It can play low scoring. A&M can play low scoring games, and A&M can play high scoring games, and they can win them all. So either way, whether it's a defensive battle or whether it's a high scoring shootout, give me the Aggies of A&M.
I feel like A&M eventually is going to get got.
Yeah.
Somewhere, like, and if there's ever a game that it's going to be, it would be this game because it's at LSU. It's at night, primetime television, on a game where it's like A&M should just walk in there, win the game, no big deal. Down the road, we're going again. I'm going to, once again, put my faith in LSU and the defense. Maybe Garrett Nussmeier figures out the offense. Who knows? But we're going to go for the Tigers again.
The Tigers.
Go Tigers. Real quick, before we move on to the parlay, did anyone win the money last week?
We're giving up on the money. No one won the money last week.
All right.
Listen, we're going to have a mean pizza party at the end of the year if no one wins this.
That's true.
All right?
That's true.
Sorry, I'm looking here because I think I made my pick. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Did you guys look at the schedule? What is the one upset? I'm going to do something a little bit different, put you both on the spot. You're looking at the schedule for this week. You see an upset in here somewhere. Just a straight-up upset. Team not favored to win is going to beat the team that's favored to win. Who you got? Because I'm looking at one, but I don't want to. I want to put you guys on the spot and kind of.
It would be a very Miami thing to do to lose to Stanford at home.
That was on my short list.
However, Mississippi State over Texas.
Texas is favored by 6.5.
Yeah.
Mississippi State has done nothing all year. Defend yourself.
Mississippi. Mississippi. What Texas's offense is? I mean, we talked about this already. Texas's offense is not good at all. Mississippi State can score points at some point in time. The Texas Longhorn defense is just gonna say, "We're done carrying this team." Robert, what's the line with the Texas defense?
What?
They've
What
been
about
on-
them? They're bad.
They've been on the field far too long.
Oh, yeah.
So,
All right.
and it's in Starkville. Mississippi they've got to win an SEC game at some point in time.
Sir, it's what they do.
Okay. Yeah, so give me that would be where the upset comes from.
For you,
Mississippi
that's
State.
your upset.
Yeah.
Robert, what's your upset?
Part of me thinks that the one that you're looking at would be Washington over Illinois, which kind of would make sense.
Interesting.
East Coast going to West Coast.
Not mine. Not mine.
Just kind of keep an eye on that. Oh, it's not. Okay. Well, it's not Wisconsin over Oregon. It's not Stanford. I mean, I'll just go ahead and say it. LSU over A&M. That's going to be my upset.
I like it. It's a little, for me, it's a little too mainstream. I'm looking at the night game, 8 p.m. on ESPN2. It's Houston at Arizona State.
Oh, well, yeah. I could see. Yeah, that one would make sense, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just as long as Houston's offense can get rolling.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking here. Minnesota is playing. Who are they playing? I just saw it. Like I was scrolling back down just to look through. Iowa. I was favored by 7.
8.5.
8.5. Like,
Make that make sense.
take Minnesota coming off of a good upset win against Nebraska. Give me Minnesota, plus the points there. Washington's favored for Illinois. Okay, whatever. There's a bunch of small games, that I'm like, that doesn't quite make any sense. But, yeah, I like the Stanford-Miami one, to be quite honest with you. And I'm going to transition us straight into the parlay here. That's actually what I'm going to take. I'm going to take Stanford plus 29.5. They've started to gain some steam, and Miami has started to lose it, at least from what I can tell. I mean, it's Miami. They never really have it. It's all cocaine and plastic. That's what Miami is, and that includes their football team. And so, why would I
Cocaine and lip filler.
and good angles and leaning on the bed of a Ferrari. I don't know. Like, listen, it's all fake down there in South Beach. Give me Coral Gables. Give me, for the parlay, and I'm going to be wrong here, but give me Stanford plus 29.5.
Rob, I still haven't made up
It's
my
not bad.
my mind.
Oh, you haven't made your mind up.
Yeah,
yet?
I haven't. So you might as well go.
I'm going to go Ole Miss plus 4.5 against Oklahoma. I just think Ole Miss rebounds this week. It takes it to them.
I love that, Robert.
It's yeah. I mean, John Mateer is still trying to figure getting back to full health, so probably going to be a close game. But I kind of just think that Ole Miss wins the game. So the plus 4.5 is just a little bit of a icing on the cake.
So I'm going to go with a team traveling east to west, which me and Robert have figured out that there is something to that. For whatever reason, when teams go east to west, it never ends well. And when teams come west to east, the West Coast team usually covers. However, I'm not going to go with my original thought, and this will probably bite us and me in the butt, which is Washington minus the 4.5 over Illinois. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out on a limb. 7 p.m. FS1. Simeon, that's your thing. You love giving times and channels for everything.
Listen, people want to watch.
Dan Lanning last year went to Wisconsin and was a tough game well into the fourth quarter, and they almost got upset as the number, I think, 1 team in the country at that time. Oregon fell to Indiana and then hammered Rutgers, and now they're coming home, and they get a Wisconsin team that is just not good. Sorry, Wisconsin. I don't know what else to say. You're just not great right now. The greatest thing to happen to the Badgers this year is that they converted a 4th and 19 on a fake punt. It was supposed to be a real punt, except then Ohio State bailed, and the punter ran for 20 yards, and he needed 19. So, great job. Give me the Oregon Ducks minus 33.5. It's a big number, and I hate taking big numbers. But I see this being a 56-17 game, man.
Wisconsin hasn't scored in 2 games.
Yeah, give me... Now watch this be the game that Wisconsin just gets them, right? Gets somebody.
There's always one of those.
37-0 against Iowa.
Yeah, they made... Go ahead.
Give me the Ducks to cover all of the 33.5.
So, I don't hate it. I mean, I do. But, I don't hate any of these. Like, last week, I hated every pick. Like, all the picks were too on edge, but, like, all of these, on paper, seem like good picks until watch us go 0-3 again. And all the teams that were like, yeah, they're not going to blow out, they're going to blow them out, or they're not going to blow them out, does the opposite. That's just our luck.
Hey, at least we're not doing layups anymore. We're putting ourselves out there.
Is the Big 12, like, own the 4 p.m. time slot?
With TNT, they do, yeah, I think.
Because it's both ESPN games. So Baylor takes on Cincinnati. That was another game. Cincinnati's only a 4.5 point favorite. 4 p.m. on ESPN2.
Yo, Cincinnati lead Big 12 right now, by the way.
Great. They're looking a great team. I don't know who the head coach is there. Really did a good job, I guess, with recruiting.
Scott Satterfield. He used to be at Louisville, and before that, he was at App State.
Okay, that makes sense. So here's my question. This is we normally do the segment that's most expensive ticket, cheapest ticket. Cheapest ticket I think is there's a $6 one. There's 2 $6 ones. Yeah, so you can either go see North Texas at Charlotte in Charlotte, where North Texas is a almost 30-point favorite. That's ESPN2 on Friday. Or you can go see Rutgers at Purdue in West Lafayette, where Rutgers is a 2.5 point favorite. That's 12 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. But
real quick, Rob, where are you going between those 2 games for $6?
Read them to me again. Oh, honestly, well, Charlotte would be kind of nice, or Virginia.
Virginia.
You know, let's go to Charlotte. I feel
Virginia
like I
was
could
not
do
an
more
option.
stuff there.
Indiana was the option. It was Purdue.
Oh, because Virginia Tech, California is also $6.
Oh, is it?
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, then throw them into the mix. Okay, but you're going with
what
Charlotte.
When's that game? Is that a night game? Because I would go there just for the Enter Sandman.
Friday.
Oh, so
Friday at 7:30.
So that's an Enter Sandman. I'd go there. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. That game might actually be.
Virginia
Kinda
Tech's favored by
close.
4.5.
Listen, support us so that if you like this content, support us so that we can make money off of this, so that we can do road trips to these
Absolutely
places.
no way for you guys to send us money. So
They can subscribe and share
Yes.
and tell those people to
Yes.
subscribe.
and share. Yes. Honestly, if subscription goes the wrong way, or
What they could also do is just pick a damn winner.
Roberts. All right. So I'm going to make this our game of the week then. If we're going to do this, this is our game of the week. It's Oklahoma State at Texas Tech. For the life of me, I can't figure out why this game is $148. It's our most expensive game. It's a home game between the best team in the the best team in the Big 12 versus
There you
the
go.
worst team in the Big 12. And
Yeah, the tortilla throwers.
that
They're
aren't
not allowed. They get
to.
fined now.
That's the only
They get-
thing that there's nothing
They
in
have
the
fine
news.
now.
Yeah, like they care.
What is going on here? Like, why is this? It's the worst game on this. Like, this should be a 40-point blowout. What's the over/under?
Because it's Texas. No, the
Well-
most expensive. Simeon, you're missing it. 256, Missouri at Vanderbilt.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah, you
I
missed
did.
it.
I wonder if honestly the reason the ticket explodes like that is because of game day being there.
yeah.
Like,
There's also less
Absolutely.
seats. So I'm sorry, but
But again, Vanderbilt is college football right now. You don't want to believe it, but it's true.
I mean, I would say they're Indiana's more than. I don't know. They're the same damn thing.
Indiana and Vanderbilt?
Yeah, part of
Yeah.
the Portuguese, but they're the same thing.
No, you are right. However, Vanderbilt or Indiana already did this last year. Vanderbilt was still 6-6 last year.
that's not the right.
So
Yeah.
the fact that they're actually headed towards the
Yeah.
finale, IDK, wash your hands, you filthy animals.
right.
Thanks for being here.
That's the game of the week. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. I just picked it. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe you can enter it. If not, who knows?
Comment below, Texas Tech or Oklahoma
There you go.
State.
That's
Who
what you
wins?
can do. No money. Bye.